Good morning, everyone. This is Jaimini Astrology channel. In today's episode, we will learn how to calculate finally Navamsha Dasha. This is, I believe, the third Dasha which I share on this channel. Previously, we learned about Chara Dasha, also about Manduk Dasha, how to calculate these dashas. Today we're going to add our Navamsha Dasha in Jaimini Astrology. Obviously, everything which I'm going to share today is based on particular publication which is called Predict Through Jaimini's Navamsha Dasha by Sachin Malhotra, guide and editor, obviously K.N.Rao, and it is published by Vani publications daily. I learned how to calculate and how to apply Navamsha Dasha in Jaimini Astrology by studying this publication. One more time, it is called Predict Through Jaimini's Navamsha Dasha by Sachin Malhotra, guide and editor K.N.Rao, published by Vani publications daily. So I'm going to share exactly what is written in this book, okay, and nothing else. So we'll start to learn about our Navamsha Dasha. First of all, Navamsha Dasha, as its name suggests, it's only applicable to our Navamsha. We do not apply Navamsha Dasha to our Rashi or Diwan chart. It is only applicable to our Navamsha. In order to be successful, in order to do correct predictions, to use Navamsha Dasha successfully, first of all, there has to be one main condition fulfilled. What is this? Obviously, we need to have correct Navamsha. If you do not have correct Navamsha, then everything will go wrong and you won't be successful. Okay? If you do not have correct Navamsha, how do you want to progress and advance? It's not possible. Okay? So I'm going to guide you through the process, how to calculate Navamsha Dasha, okay? Then later on we will calculate the entire Navamsha Dasha based on my own Navamsha, okay? But first we will focus on the rules, okay? Which you need to remember in order to do Navamsha Dasha properly, okay? So the first point, okay? If your Navamsha Lagna falls into odd signs, okay, the Navamsha Dasha will start from Navamsha Lagna and it will be in direct order. So these are obviously basics. So if your Navamsha Lagna falls in odd signs, obviously, yeah, like for instance, Mesha, yeah, let's say Kumbha, yeah, let's say Tula, okay, let's say Simcha, and so on and so on, then your Navamsha Dasha will start from Navamsha Lagna. Simple, okay? Let me clear that. Okay. Then, what if your Navamsha Lagna falls into even signs? Okay? Then, your Navamsha Dasha will start from the 7th house and it will be also in direct order. So let's say your Navamsha Lagna falls into the sign of, let's say, Rishabha, okay, Karka, let's say, Rishika, okay, or Makara. So these are even signs. So in such case, your Navamsha Dasha will start from the 7th house. So, for instance, let's say your Navamsha Lagna falls in sign of Kanya. Okay, so it is an even sign. So then your Navamsha Dasha will start from the 7th house, which is obviously Mina or Pisces, okay? Then let me clear that quickly, and then we'll carry on. Just give me a second. Okay, done. Then we'll go to the third point, meaning how to calculate Dasha periods. So please listen carefully, attentively. Okay, so how to calculate Dasha periods. First of all, count from the Rashi to its Lord in direct order in case of the odd signs. Obviously later on I will demonstrate, I will show it when we will be counting, the Navamsha Dasha. Okay? What else? Count from the Rashi to its Lord in indirect order in case of even signs. Okay? Like I've said, I'll show you how to do it later on. What do we need to remember here in case of Navamsha Dasha? For the signs of Rishika and Kumbha, we take only Mangala and Shani as their lords respectively. So it doesn't work the same as in Chara Dasha, where we need to figure it out if we count up to Mangala or Ketu or up to Shani or Rahu. That's what we do in Chara Dasha, but not in Navamsha Dasha. In Navamsha Dasha, we consider only Mangala and Shani as the rulers of Rishika and Kumbha Rashis respectively. Okay, so I hope that's clear. The fourth point which we need to remember when applying Navamsha Dasha. There is no deduction of 1 year as in Chara Dasha. Okay? In case when the Lord of the Rashi Dasha is placed in the 7th house, 7 years has to be taken. And for instance, as the length of the Dasha. 7 years has to be taken as the length of the Dasha and not 10 years as we do in Manduk Dasha. So that's another difference. Okay, I will repeat. In case when the Lord of the Rashi Dasha is placed in the 7th house, 7 years has to be taken as the length of the Dasha period. Okay, and not 10 years as we do in Manduk Dasha. Okay. Next point, take 12 full years in case the Lord of the Rashi Dasha is found in the 12th house. Okay. We also take 12 full years when we find Rashi Dasha Lord placed in its own sign. So these things also has to be remembered. Okay. Sixth point, important. When it comes to Antardasha and Pratyantardasha, we need to remember that. Antardasha, Pratyantardasha begins from the Rashi itself, unlike in Charadasha, when the Antardasha of the Rashi or Mahadasha Lord comes last. Okay? Here the Antardasha of the Mahadasha Lord comes first in Navamsha Dasha, meaning that you're going through, let's say, Karka, Karka Mahadasha, so the Karka Antardasha will come first, okay? Not as the last, as we would do it in Charadasha, okay? That's the difference. And here, what you need to also remember, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha order is always direct here. Okay? So, always direct. When we count, when we establish the order of Mahadasha, Antardasha or Pratyantardasha, the order of these dashas is always direct. Okay? That needs to be clear. Okay? So, now we will try to count the Navamsha Dasha. Okay, step by step, and I'll show you how to do it along with the application of the rules. So I will explain. Okay, so here we see our Navamsha. Yeah, this is my Navamsha. So we need to establish where is the Navamsha Lagna. Navamsha Lagna falls into the sign of, obviously, Mesha. Okay, and what do we know about that? Yeah, I'll repeat. If your first point, if your Navamsha Lagna falls into odd sign, which is Mesha, Mesha is an odd sign, the Navamsha Dasha will start from Navamsha Lagna, and it will be in direct order. Okay, so we know that our Navamsha Dasha will start from the Lagna because Mesha is an odd sign. Okay, then we'll start to calculate our dashas, mahadashas. Okay, and its lengths, their lengths. Okay, so the first mahadasha will be obviously of Mesha. Okay, so what we do, we count up to the ruler, from the Rashi up to its ruler. So you see that Mangala, yeah, is found in Makara. So count from the Rashi to its Lord in direct order in case of odd signs. So, as I've said, yeah, Mesha is an odd sign, so we'll count in direct order up to its Lord. So counting up to Mangala gives us 10, and there is no deduction here as in Chara Dasha. So the first Mahadasha of Mesha will consist of 10 years. Okay? Then we'll go further. Next Mahadasha will be Mahadasha, obviously, of Rishabha. What sign is that? This is an even sign. So what we do? Count from the Rashi to its Lord in indirect order in case of even signs. So we need to count from Rishabha up to its ruler, which is Shukra, in indirect order, because Rishabha is an even sign. So if we count, will be 9. Yeah, 9. Yeah, if we count from Rishabha in indirect order. Yeah, so the length of Rishabha Mahadasha will be of 9 years. Okay, so then we'll go to the next Mahadasha. Will be obviously Mituna. Okay, so this is an odd sign, so the counting will be direct. Yeah, so here let's see where we've got the Lord of the Rashi, which is Buddha. Yeah, it is placed in the 7th house from Mituna. So what we do, we take 7 full years and not the 10 years as in case of Manduk Dasha. 7 years. So the Mahadasha of Mituna will consist of 7 years. In Manduk Dasha, yeah, it would consist of 10 years. Yeah, but we don't do it here. Yeah, we just take 7 years. Okay, so as it is said, in case when the Lord of the Rashi Dasha is placed in the 7th house, 7 years to be taken as the length of the Dasha and not 10 years as in Manduk Dasha. Okay? So, I hope this is clear. Let me clear this up. We'll go to the next Mahadasha, which will be Mahadasha of Karka. Karka obviously is an even sign. So we'll count up to its Lord in indirect order. Okay? So where's the ruler of the Karka, Chandra? It is in the sign of Makara, 7 houses away. So the same story as previously with Buddha. We're taking 7 full years and not 10 years as we would do in case of Manduk Dasha. Okay? So the Mahadasha of Karka will consist of 7 years. Okay? Then we come to the sign of Simha. Simha obviously is odd Rashi. Okay? So we'll be counting in a direct manner up to its lord, which is Surya. Okay? So counting will give us 10 years as the Simha Mahadasha period. Okay? Hope it is clear, not difficult. It is obviously not difficult. It just needs some practice, and that's all. Okay? Then we'll come to Kanya Mahadasha. Kanya is an even sign, so our counting will be indirect. So from the Rashi up to its lord, we'll count in indirect order. Here we find our Buddha, the ruler, of Kanya. So counting in indirect order, it will give us 10 years as the length of Kanya Mahadasha. Okay? Then we'll come to, obviously, Tula. What we see, Tula is an outside, its lord, Shukra, is placed in Kanya, 12 houses or Rashis away. So we'll take 12 full years as the Mahadasha length. Okay? Then, after Tula, it comes, obviously, Rishika. Rishika is an even Rashi, so our counting will be indirect, counting up to its lord. As I've said before, we take here into consideration only Mangala, okay, as the ruler of Rishika. Okay, so counting in an indirect order, it will give us 11 years, no deductions, as in Charadasha. You do not take into consideration Ketu here as in Charadasha. Simple. So the length of Rishika Mahadasha will be of 11 years. Then we'll come to, obviously, Danu Mahadasha. Danu is an odd sign, so our counting will be direct. So where we've got Guru, the ruler, 4 houses or Rashis away, okay, from Danu. So the length of Danu Mahadasha will be 4 years. Okay, very simple, very simple. Then we'll come to Makara Rashi. Makara is an even Rashi, so our counting will be indirect. So we'll be counting in an indirect way up to its lord, which is Shani, and it will give us 11 years, as the Mahadasha length. Okay, then after Makara Mahadasha, we'll have, obviously, Kumbha Mahadasha. Here, obviously, we also take into consideration Shani as the Kumbha lord, and we do not consider Rahu here, as we would do in case of Chara Dasha. Okay, so Kumbha obviously is an odd sign, so we'll be counting in a direct manner up to its lord, which is Shani. Shani is found in Mina, so it gives us only 2 years as the Mahadasha, Kumbha Mahadasha length, So, clear it up. And we come, naturally, to our last Mahadasha. Last Mahadasha will be Mahadasha of Mina in our Navamsha Dasha, where is the ruler the owner of Mina. It is placed in its own sign. It is Guru found in Mina. So, in such case, we also take 12 full years as the Mahadasha length, because the Lord of the Rashi is in its own sign. So, I hope this is simple and clear. Navamsha Dasha is, I would say, easier to calculate, easier to remember than, for instance, Chara Dasha and Manduk Dasha, yeah, relatively. So, I'm going to conclude on that. We learned on this channel, we learned three dashas, Jaimini dashas, which was Chara Dasha, Manduk Dasha, and right now, obviously, Navamsha Dasha. You are all equipped in, I would say, basic necessary tools in order to predict properly what is required. Just focus, attention, and practice. And that's all. Okay? So, I'm going to finish this episode. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episodes. Take care.